What's up guys, and welcome back to another deck concept. Today we're looking at the first ever Link Summon deck concept on this channel, and it definitely won't be the last one. We got the Grail Nekroz deck. So yeah, let's get right into it. So we got our familiar friends, the Nekroz. We have Brynak, Colossalus, Unicorn, Valkyrie, Trisha, the usual lineup. And then we got Preparation Rites. Preparation Rites went to 3 in the OCG in the recent ban list that came out yesterday, which is actually pretty awesome for rituals, right? If they definitely do it for the TCG, that'd be super hype for the Cyber Angels and even Nekroz, right? We got Kaleidoscope and Cycle, good ritual spells for our Nekroz friends. We got Advanced Ritual Art. This binds together our Nekroz friends as well as our World Chalice guys, or I should say Star Grails in the OCG name. World Chalice for TCG names, but I'm gonna call them Star Grails. And we got Herald the Arclight as our main searcher for our ritual plays. We're going to make it and spam the crap out of it. We're going to revive it and stuff. And Gale Dogra helps send the Herald the Arclight, of course, to the graveyard to have our searches. Next up, we got the Star Grail monsters. We have the Star Grail Bearing Priestess, Star Grail's Chosen, and Star Grail's Beckon. These are the vanilla monsters of the archetype. They don't have effects themselves, but their link monsters have really powerful effects, which makes up for that fact. But it's actually really convenient that they're vanilla monsters because we can use certain spells and traps on them, as well as we can use Advanced Ritual Art, which helps out the Nekroz ritual plays with the Star Grail's help. We got the Star Grail Fairy Riz, so she's an effect monster level 2. If this card's normal or special summon, you can add one Star Grail monster from your deck to your hand, as well as if this card's in the graveyard, you can send one monster from your hand or side of field to the graveyard to add this card back to your hand. You can activate each effect once per turn. Star Relic Star Grail level 5 Machine. Pretty tempted to add Cyber Drake Infinity just because of those stats, right? Hahaha. But this card has 3 effects. We have the ability to, if this card's on the field and a monster special summoned to the extra monster zone from the extra deck, you can send this card and that card to the graveyard. If this normal summon card face-up card leaves the field, you can special summon 2 Star Grail monsters, except for this card, to your side of field. And if this card's in the graveyard, except for the turn it was sent there, you can banish it to add one Star Relic card from your deck to your hand, including itself. But usually you would add Star Relic Aegis because this card's pretty nice. It's a spell card, target 2 Star Relic monsters from your graveyard with different names, add them back to your hand, so pretty good recovery effect. As well as if a link monster is in a link state would be destroyed by battle, you can banish this card instead. So that would really help with protecting your link monsters from destruction. Moving on to the link monsters, we got the Star Grail Dragon, link 1 monster requiring 1 normal monster except for a token. During your main phase, you can additionally normal summon 1 Star Grail monster from your hand. If this card battles a monster with this link point arrows towards, you can destroy that monster without damage calculation. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can special summon 1 Star Grail monster from your hand. All the Star Grail monsters have this clause right here, so it's kind of like the archetype effect, helping you out summoning those vanilla Star Grail monsters, or even the fairy for the searches, right? Next up, we got the Star Grail Swordsman. So this card has pretty good link arrows pointing bottom left and bottom right, so that helps out with the extra deck spam, right? Link 2, so it requires 2 Star Grail monsters. So this card has 2 effects, the second effect being the archetype effect, where if it's sent from the field to the graveyard, you can special summon 1 Star Grail monster from your hand, of course, as well as you can tribute 1 Star Grail monster this card's link arrow points towards to special summon 1 other monster from your graveyard back to your side of the field. So that's really nice reborn plays, and it doesn't have to be a Star Grail monster, it can be any monster, so it really does give a lot of possibilities with this card. We got the Star Grail Warrior. So this card's a Link 3 monster requiring 2 or more Link monsters, so it's pretty hefty on materials. So you would usually use like the Star Grail Dragon with the Star Grail Warrior right here to make this guy. So this guy has an effect where when he's Link summoned, you get to draw cards up to the amount of Star Grail monsters this card Link arrow points towards. So basically, if you use the Dragon and the Warrior, you can use the Dragon and Warrior's effects in Chain Links 3 and 2. Warrior will be Chain Link 1. The Dragon and the Warrior will special summon 2 Star Grail monsters to this guy's Link arrow points towards, and then you'll draw 2 cards off of Warrior. But usually you wouldn't summon him for the draw effect, you would actually summon him for the other effect, being that he can send one card from each player's field to the graveyard. This effect doesn't target, so that's really nice. We got 2 more Link monsters that aren't related to Star Grails, but I thought they were pretty useful. We got Proxy Dragon Link 2, requiring 2 monsters, any monsters, even tokens, so it's really generic. So if a card you control would be destroyed, you can destroy cards linked to this monster instead, so that's a pretty good protection effect right there. And it's link arrows pointing left and right, so it opens up even more extra monster zones for your extra deck spam, right? We got Decode Talker Link 3, requiring 2 or more effect monsters, so it's pretty generic in itself. You can't just use a vanilla monster for it, I guess, as well as tokens, right? But it's really good because it has the effect to boost itself by 500 points per monster linked to it, so it can have usually 3,300, as well as if it during your play's turn, if a card effect that your opponent activates that targets a card you control, you contribute 1 monster this card linked to and negate that activation, then destroy it. So pretty good protection effect as well. We got some additional support cards. We have Heretic Dragon Tefnut, because, you know, Nekroz cycle into Brainek, pretty easy. Galaxy Serpent here, and this card can be special summoned through Try Right here, special summon up to 3 normal monsters from your graveyard, that are level 2 and lower, from your graveyard back to your side field, so that really helps out with the spamming of vanilla monsters into our Link monsters, our Star Grail monsters, right? As well as Galaxy Serpent and Synchro Summon into Herald the Arclight pretty easily. We got Red Resonator to special summon more monsters, as well as it's a level 2 tuner. So we got an example combo here with our 4 cards. We have Red Resonator, Geldagra, Try Right, and our Star Relic Star Grail. First up, we'll normal summon our Red Resonator, being able to special summon our Geldagra from my hand, activating Geldagra's effect twice, sending 2 Herald the Arclights to the graveyard, assuming it's our first turn and we have 8,000 life points, right? So we search out Nekroz and Brainek and advance Ritual Art from our deck. We'll activate Brainek's effect, discarding it to add our Nekroz Valkyries to our hand. Activating Advanced Ritual Art, paying monsters from our deck in multiples of 2. We'll send our Galaxy Serpent and 3 Star Grail Priestesses to the graveyard to ritual summon our Valkyries from our hand. And since we don't have enough space to actually activate Try right now, we'll activate Valkyrie's effect, tributing Valkyries and Geldagra to draw 2 cards. Next, now we do have space, so we activate Try Right, special summon back our 2 Priestesses from our graveyard and 1 Galaxy Serpent. Next, we'll use 1 Priestess to link summon into our Star Grail Dragon. Then the Star Grail Dragon will allow us to additionally normal summon our Star Relic Star Grail from our hand, tributing our Priestess for it. Next up, we can link summon with our Star Grail Star Wreck monster with our Star Grail Dragon into our Star Grail Swordsman. Since the Star Grail Star Relic monster left the field and it was normal summon, you can just special summon 2 Star Grail monsters from our deck. We'll special summon 1 Star Grail Rise and 1 Star Grail Beckon from our deck. Star Grail Rise because it will trigger, allowing us to search up an additional Star Grail monster. That's pretty nice. Next up, we can Synchro Summon into our Herald the Arclight with our Red Resonator Riz to Synchro Summon into the last Herald the Arclight in our extra deck. Next up, we can Synchro Summon again with our Galaxy Serpent, because it's a tuner monster, into our Star Charge Warrior. We'll activate Herald of the Arclight's effect in Chain Link 2 and Star Grail's effect in Chain Link 1, so that we get the search off of Herald before the draw from our Star Charge Warrior. So we're getting a lot of pluses here. And then we'll activate our Swordsman's effect, tributing our Beckon, which is linked to him, so that's allowed, to special summon back our Herald of the Arclight. Next up, we can actually link summon once again with our Swordsman and our Herald the Arclight into Decode Talker, because the Swordsman was a link 2 and Herald the Arclight was an effect monster. We only just needed those 2 monsters just to make Decode Talker, so that's pretty nice. And then we'll get that Herald Search effect again, searching out perhaps Trishula here and Advanced Rich Art. But we're going to assume this was turn 1, so we don't really need to go that hand. But we definitely have that option for next turn. So this is what the Star Grail Nekroz deck looks like. I know the Nekroz cycle says 1, but that's the OCG list. We're using TCG, which we can have up to 3, right? But yeah, it's not a bad deck concept, I would say. It's pretty basic. And usually throw in Nekroz whenever there's vanilla monsters involved, like the Ignites, right? I did try Metaphors, but it didn't really work out so well. But yeah, I think it's pretty simple and it works substantially well together. I'm definitely looking forward to test out more Link monsters, but right now Star Grail seems like the one where I could actually throw in there in a lot of decks and make it work somehow. Because their Star Grail warrior guy, he's pretty good for the reborn plays, of course. But yeah, thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you guys next time.